going to see the climax of the story, Lion and the Jaw, written by Wole Soyinka, a West Nigerian writer. In the last two classes, we have seen the story part of the Lion and the Jewel, and in the previous class, we saw the story how Sidi was loved by Baroka and Lakunle, and how Baroka has made a story about his loss of manhood and sent Sadiku to Sidi. Now, in the last class, we stopped. Okay, this is in the last class we have seen after Sidi comes to know that Baroka has lost his manhood from Sadiku. Sidi wants to mock Baroka in his palace. So Sidi, with the permission of Sadiku, goes to Baroka's palace to mock at him. And in the Baroka's palace, Baroka is seen wrestling with the wrestler, and he wins the wrestler. And Baroka, after the wrestling game, comes near Sidi and sits near him. And he says that Sadiku prepares new stories to bring him new wives. This is in this way she has also made Sidi to come to his palace. This is what we finished in the last class. This is the recap. See, Baroka sits down next to Sidi and laments how old he is becoming. He asks Sidi if Sadiku has invented a story for Sidi. He complains that Sadiku is constantly finding new women for him to marry. So this is Baroka acts that he is a very good man, but only Sadiku brings him new wife by inventing new stories every time. Okay, now we will see the climax. What happens next? So when now Baroka is near Sidi, sitting near Sidi, and he says, Baroka says about his plan for a new stamp machine. He says that he will have images of Ilunjinle village on the stamp. He further says that he will also print her picture in the stamp. Sidi starts to dream her face on the stamp. Baroka explains that he doesn't hate progress, he only hates the sameness that progress brings. He admits that he, Baroka, and the school teacher think alike in bringing new changes in the village. Hence, he says that they must work together to modernize the village like Lagos. Now, this happens in the palace of Baroka, now in the village square. In the village square at the market place, that night the drums start beating. The female dancers pursue a male. Sadiku and Lakunle wait for Sidi to return. Lakunle is very nervous. He decides to rescue Sidi from the palace of Baroka. The mummers is the mime players, arrive in the distance. Sadiku is very happy. She feels that at last she has brought the fox down. She refers to Baroka. She asks Lakunle to pay the mummers for a performance. Lakunle hesitates, hence Sadiku takes some money from his pocket and pays the mummers to play a mime. She narrates the story of Baroka to the mummers. She asks them to dance the story. They dance out the story of Baroka and his downfall. They invite Sadiku also to participate in the mime in the climax to kill the bear. Suddenly, Sidi runs in, sobbing is crying. She throws herself to the ground. Lakunle is horrified, disturbed, and asks if she was beaten. Sidi sobs, cries that Sadiku was fooled. The lion, she means Baroka, tricked, cheated her and was not important at all. He says Baroka is not important, he has not lost his manhood. She says Baroka has raped her and took her virginity. Lakunle is shocked. Still he is ready to accept her and no longer will pay the bride price. Lakunle announces he will still marry Sidi. She is confused and asks if this is true. He says yes. Sidi runs away. Lakunle sends Sadiku after her to find out what she is doing. Sadiku returns to Lakunle and says that Sidi is dressing herself like a bride. But Lakunle says that he cannot get married immediately. Immediately, the mummers start the marriage preparations. Lakunle becomes disturbed. He says he needs some more time to marry Sidi. Sidi comes in a marriage dress. She laughs at Lakunle. She says that she is going to marry Baroka. She says it is the village tradition. Sadiku blesses her and asks the gods for her fertility. The dancers and Sidi re-enter the square. Sidi is beautiful. She offers Lakunle the magazine and invites him to the wedding. Lakunle says that he must be invited because he is the groom. Sidi laughs again and says she cannot marry Lakunle after experience Baroka's strength. She asks the musicians to play the music. She walks to Baroka's house and the dance begins. A young girl dances before Lakunle. Lakunle gets angry and he chases after her. The story that comes to an end. Thank you, dear students. In the next class, we will see the entire story mapping so that you get a clear picture of what the story is about. Till we meet next, happy learning and keep loving literature, dear students. Thank you.